we continued searching and we found this Volvo F7. This is basically it's like an over-the-road truck, like a tractor trailer, the tractor part of the tractor trailer truck, converted into an RV for the DuPont family.
By the way, I don't think the DuPonts were sleeping in this thing, but just say it. The reason one of the richest. We'll see. If one of the richest families in the world was sleeping in this thing. But anyway, not for nothing, but if we're going to have people actually sleep in it, the things I see mold coming out of the bottom, this whole thing would have to be gutted. I mean, it is just absolute crap. So literally, we'd have to tear the entire thing out and build it back from scratch, because by the time you do all that, you might as well buy something decent. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I wouldn't want to use, I mean, I'm a man and I wouldn't want to use that toilet. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You want something that you're not embarrassed to have a woman or anyone use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
We have seen David's apartment though, so
it's better than that.
So the RV concept, it'd be multi-use, but it would have been cool to have for Pebble Beach, where hotels are expensive, and you know what? Putting some bloggers in an RV is a great workaround. Unfortunately, that's coming. Well, I mean, fortunately, it's coming up pretty soon in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah,
we won't have. We're unlikely to have an RV, but we just got to keep looking. We'll find one eventually. So we got to figure out what we're going to take up there.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of ideas, Beau, and they're not genius, but this one might. Okay. Here's the idea. We each pick out, either for ourselves or for someone else, a trade-in that just came in. And then we drive a trade-in. I recently, by the way, drove a trade-in. It was a 2007 Dodge Nitro with a catalytic converter that had been cut out. So someone upgraded, got themselves a nice Honda from Galpin Honda. But they traded in this Nitro, and I got to drive it, and we'll just say it was exciting to drive that.
Is this something we can look forward to seeing on future episodes of the Autopian?
Yes.
Absolutely. We have a cut actually that we got to show you.
Oh,
this thing is so loud with the cat cut out. It is
loud, slow, and kind of dirty.
So if we could just, anyway, the trade, it all depends because we don't know what gets traded in. It seems very random what gets traded in.
Well, it is.
So, I don't know. I get a list every day of everything that's been traded in, and I look at it avidly every day because I'm excited to see what there is and see if I can drive it. So we'll just keep an eye out on the trade-ins. I like the idea, the mystery of it. We just don't know what it's going to be.
What is there something else in your collection, Beau, that you think deserves a good trip up to Pebble? That you've been thinking about?
I'm kind of spoiled these days, so I'm a comfort guy.
Sure.
Or David's a little different, and Jason, I think I got a good idea where you're coming from too. But I don't know. There's all kinds of things here, of course. But we just got to figure out what is it that we want to do and take. So
there is the Continental with the coach doors.
I love the idea of you chauffeuring Torch and I. That sounded good. We could sit there smoking cigars. You could drink your brandy.
That's nice.
It's like one of only a couple hundred ever made, right? It's like extremely rare.
Yeah, that year was one of 80. It's the first one they ever built.
Also, let me
because my dad had the last town car and the first Continental.
Oh wow!
Let me just point out that the Continental with the suicide doors, that the sort of special edition that they made, such a genius move. No one really cared. People weren't really talking about the Continental at all. And then they came out. All they did is they probably hired some outside firm to switch the way the door hinges, and hundreds of thousands of people were reading about it. I was at Jalopnik at the time. It was crazy.
It was the biggest story in automotive period at the time. When
Yes,
Lincoln couldn't get attention for anything. By the way, I'm on Ford's product committee, so I go back there 3 times a year to work on product with Ford and Lincoln. I beg them for years to do this. I even had to the point where I was, the designers, we would kind of like team up on the side and try to, they had it all figured out. It was engineered. I even knew what the costs were going to be. I'm like, it's totally worth it. If you have a Continental with suicide doors, there's nothing else until you get to a Rolls Royce that's like it. Yeah, they're not the most practical, but they're going to get attention and they're super cool. Right. And unfortunately, at Continental, the timing was just the worst because it came out when cars just went in and it was all SUVs. So then with this constant badgering that we were giving them, they came up with a solution. Now, this really special edition, they think they built 80 for their 80th anniversary. And they were stretched, I forget how many inches, 4 or 5, something like that. And with the coach doors, as they call it, or suicide as we call it. And they're just so cool. Just love them.
I think it would have been one of their SUVs too. I think like a Navigator with the suicide doors, the coach doors would be fantastic.
And tailgate.
I agree.
Wow.
Doors are a big deal when it comes to luxury cars.
Absolutely.
Like, I think like a luxury SUV, for example, tailgate is a requirement. If it is a luxury SUV and it costs over $100,000, it has to have a drop-down tailgate. You see it on the Rolls Royces. You see it
those
on
little seats.
Right? You see it on Range Rovers.
Characteristic of the supercar. The doors have to do something unexpected.
That's right. A luxury car, suicide doors are cool. A luxury SUV has to have a tailgate. And you're seeing right now how much that matters with the new Toyota Land Cruiser that came out 2 days ago. Or was it yesterday? New Land Cruiser debuted without its rear tailgate, drop down tailgate. It went to a regular hatch, raise up hatch. And people are not thrilled. Diehard Land Cruiser owners are pissed. They're like, I want a tailgate.
Thing in general.
When you're overlanding or just camping, you can put your stove there. You can put your thing. You can sit on it.
I think is the key. So my little Nissan pal actually has a tailgate design.
Oh, cool.
When you fold that thing down and you sit on it, there's no way to get that kind of effect on like it's sitting like inside of the hatch of like a hatchback isn't the same thing as sitting on a tailgate.
Yeah, nothing like a good sit.
Surface, it makes everything better. I'm 100% on team tailgate here.
Yeah, and so the new Land Cruiser, Beau, have you seen the pictures of the new Land Cruiser?
I saw the pictures, not in person, but it looks actually really cool. I've got to hand it to them.
It does look cool. Diehard Land Cruiser fans, not happy.
But it's really $30,000 cheaper.
Well, here's the thing. They think it's gone soft because it's based on the Land Cruiser Prado. Well, it is the Land Cruiser Prado, which is known today as the lighter duty version of the Land Cruiser. But here's the thing. The new Prado is based on the same platform as the big dog Land Cruiser. So that means this American Land Cruiser, it's all based on the same platform. So it's not really, is it really any more light duty? It's not clear. But here's what I will say. Even if the new Land Cruiser is a little bit lighter duty than the outgoing one, I think it's fine. First off, the outgoing Land Cruiser was $85,000 starting. Forget that. This one costs $55,000 starting. For $30,000 savings, get rid of the dang tailgate. Who cares? I've been attacked for that stance.
But $30,000 is a big chunk of money. It's huge.
Ridiculous.
$30,000's a lot. I mean, that's huge. It's a third of the price of the car.
I'll also note that there are some historical parallels that I'm noting to the 1984 Jeep Cherokee XJ, the little boxy Jeep Cherokee that we all know and love. It replaced a huge body-on-frame SJ platform Jeep Cherokee. The Grand Wagoneer is based on the same platform. It had a tailgate. It was heavier duty with heavier duty axles with a big frame. And then it went lighter duty. It got smaller. I'm fairly sure it got cheaper. It did all the things that the new Land Cruiser did, and it was better. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think we should have the new Land Cruiser quite yet.
I think that's a valid point and a good analogy too, because I think most people would have seen the XJ as like a a step down from what the old platform was, but it wasn't though. It was just smarter in a lot of ways. Yeah. More room inside, right, David? Even though it was smaller on the outside?
It was 90% the volume, 1,000 pounds less. Like, that's just awesome.
See, that right there is amazing.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Speaking of that era of automobiles, sort of 80s, 90s-ish, Fox body Mustang we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Fox body is so hot right now.
Yep. Actually, I've come around to the Fox body, specifically because of the one that Beau just bought.
It's so clean.
So here's the thing. We're talking about style, design, and what looks good, right? Because your eye looks at something new and you either love it or hate it, right? Like today, people look at the Cybertruck, they hated it, and now it starts to grow on them and they wonder why. The same thing is like with older cars. You get where you love it at first, and then when you know, I don't know when it starts happening, maybe 10 years, you go, oh man, that just looks so dated. And you don't like it anymore. Your eye tells you that it's no longer pleasing. But then something happens like another 10 or 15 or 20 years after that. And that is, I don't know if it's the nostalgia genes start kicking up, but your eyes start to enjoy that design again. And that's what happened with the Fox body for me. You know, this was like the Mustang when I was in high school that I saw, and I loved it. It was rad. That's what I wanted. And then it started looking like an old used car. That's, you know, then it would be a used car, the used car lot, then it'd be something we wholesale because it's too old to even sell here. So then it's like, But now, man, I'll tell you, it's coming back around. So the one that we got is a 1986 with the open headlights. First year of the fuel injection on the V8, the famous 5.0, just fantastic. I took it out. Had a great drive. Another kind of weird, kind of fun thing is, Galpin helped bring back the Mustang convertible. And this would have been one of the early Fox body, though I think it came back in about 83.
That's an interesting time, especially because that was the period where everybody thought convertibles were dead.
Exactly.
And then there were a few companies that brought it back. You had the Mustang, VW Cabrio. Like there were for a while, everyone thought there were going to. I remember the early 80s. Everybody was talking about convertibles are gone.
Yeah, and we've always loved convertibles. So we actually had this car built in 1980, built into a convertible. We had one of the shops do it. And the president of Ford came in, actually the CEO, I think it was Phil Caldwell, and said, wait a minute, what's that? We don't build those anymore. And actually asked if he could borrow it. We sent it back to Detroit, and 3 years later, we had a Mustang convertible. And
I didn't know that.
That's so we were a little part of the Mustang history on that part too. So here we are. Here's our new Fox body 1986 5.0.
Look at this thing, Torch.
This one is minty. It's so
It's in great shape.
Look at that steering wheel. There's
a lot of good details. The front end of these, I kind of like better. Remember the earlier ones had that kind of had like a big black grill. I think this is a much cleaner front end. I like this with the small. This was in Ford's small grill era, which I think
sealed beam headlights.
Yeah,
the headlights are cool. Also, great side marker lamp. Underappreciated part of car. They could have just put a rectangle, but it's that angle that fits the rake of the front end. That's just a nice touch. These are handsome cars.
Boy, you know what? Thank you. I hadn't even noticed that. I've looked at this car my whole life practically and never noticed that. Thank you, Torch. That's so cool.
To do it because
that's what Torch does.
Some designer.
It's a Torch effect.
Thought about it. They could have used an off-the-shelf part, and they made a custom one that actually adds to the look of this car. I love when I see shit like that.
All right,
so Ford.
What is the plan for this thing?
Well, it is time for a new era. We have been doing resto mods for many, many years, which is, taking modern technology and putting it under the hood, but retaining the old car. So you get the idea is the best of both worlds. New engine, new powertrain, more reliable, start it up and go, drive it wherever you want. That's the idea. That's been going on for years. And now, of course, people are saying, what about EV conversions? Can I convert a classic car to be an EV? And so far, what we've seen are just ridiculous examples because they're so expensive. $600,000 Jaguar and things like that. Well, that doesn't make any sense. If you really want to save Mother Earth, donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to do something to save the rainforest, don't buy an expensive car. Would be my advice. Buy it with gasoline. You're not going to make any difference. For what it costs, you could do a lot more. Is what I'm saying. So what we're saying is, can we really do an affordable EV resto mod and really do EV conversions? Something that could, look stock on the outside, but drive modernly and be a BEV. So that's what we're working on now, and that's what this car is going to become.
Wow. Yeah, it's you'll be able to read about it on the Autopian. I'm going to be following very closely. This is really exciting because Galpin Autosports, gas. I mean, its name is gas. It is, it's a company that is legendary for wringing the most power out of engines. And now, for the very first time, this shop is going to do an EV conversion, and to be clear, people are excited about this. It's not like your technicians are like, oh boy, I love gasoline. It runs through my veins. No, it's like, let's do this.
They've been champing at the bit to do this. So it's been great. Now we got this opportunity.
Is this that crazy motor? See, that's interesting on itself, because this is hypothetically something regular people could do in a backyard, right?
That would be the idea.
The thing is, I think we're going to find out that this is not something that the regular people can do in their backyard.
Well, the idea being, how do we make it where we can figure out how to do it? And but if somebody wanted to, why not? I mean, it's I guess that's what we're going to find out. This is our learning journey,
Yeah, it's extremely exciting. Like I just spoke with Eric, I think, who's really going to be spearheading a lot of the work. And
Eric's been the one that's been jazzed over the moon about this thing.
So I got to him and I was like, all right, so packaging is going to be tough, right? We got to figure out where to put batteries. And Eric is he like, what's his role there? He's a technician of some sort at
he's our chief fabricator, and he kind of oversees the back shop. And that's the back shops where we do the really big major work and resto mods and build cars and all that kind of stuff.
Very talented guy, very passionate guy. When I chatted with him about this project, I posed a few questions like, hey, this is going to be challenging from a packaging standpoint.
I
have to go pee. So
okay, we'll keep the conversation going while Jason is going.
So I was speaking with Eric, and I was like, okay, so where do we put the batteries? Okay, how are we going to package the motor? Should we scan the whole car and figure out put the whole environment into the digital world onto a computer-aided design software, so that we can basically take our motor and fit it in the car virtually before we, build fab up brackets and all that. And he's way ahead of me. He's like, he literally 2 seconds later, he pulls up the CAD data for the Mach-E drive unit, which, by the way, Jason, you will be amazed by this. It turns out SEMA.
That was fast. Jason, you did not wash your hands. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point. Turns out, Jason, SEMA actually has this some sort of program that involves companies sharing CAD data of their parts. So cool. Eric had all the CAD data for the Mach-E drive unit, and he had some other CAD data in there that he got from SEMA, which is awesome. So we got to figure out how we're going to scan this all and actually build this car virtually before building it in reality, which is I think what's crazy to think about is when you think about EV conversions, the layperson, if they want to do it, they're going to start with CAD. Like today, if I do an engine swap on my car, I'm not, some people will do it in CAD, but only engineers. The layperson is going to basically bang some stuff out with a hammer, cut some stuff, weld some stuff, and make it happen. But now with EV swaps, I guarantee lay people are going to have to model it all up on their computers first, because it's just so complex, and it's an exciting new era.
What battery packs are are using? Is it battery packs from Mach-E battery packs, or like what are they using?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Yeah, I don't know yet either.
Yeah,
I don't know if we know.
No, not yet. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll be able to talk with Eric about this at some point. At the very least, you'll see it on our site. As we learn, you'll be able to learn. There's a lot about electric cars that we don't know about, and electric car conversions. And key to this project is going to be making sure that every step along the way we're learning and we're cataloging and making sure that we can. I assume gas is going to become possibly, I don't know, it could be an EV conversion. That could be part of the business in the future. You never know.
Well, it's part of our business right now. This is the first step. So it absolutely will be. A lot of Fox
buddies out there, like a lot of them.
Well, hopefully we could kind of like you pick your car, and then we'll figure out how to slap an EV powertrain in there, whatever it's called.
Motor train. Yeah.
Motor train. Yeah. I guess you could powertrain still.
Yeah, you could call it powertrain still.
Okay. And then it's going to SEMA. We're planning on a really, if it all comes together, that looks like it will, I think we're going to have a really cool experience at SEMA where we show it, and maybe it's even available for people to purchase. Well, we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. SEMA is going to be different this year, and we'll see how it comes off. Now it's like a concert. What's going on? There's this big SEMA Fest. And now, Imagine Dragons is playing, and Wiz Khalifa. And I don't know what's going on in this crazy world, but cool, something different.
It is cool. And you know what I do like about the Fox body Mustang? You got a really nice Fox body, and there are certain cars where if you were to have to like chop it up and EV convert it, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, such a perfect example of this incredible car. It's blasphemy." It's a Fox body Mustang. I think this is one of those cars that it's cool, but like there are so many of them that it's just a great candidate for this in some ways. It'll be tough. It'll be tough to package some things, and it being a convertible might be, stiffness might be an interesting challenge, but it's I'm excited for it.
Yeah, well, the stiffness should have been put in, for the 5-liter, but it should have more horsepower as well. That's what we're aiming for.
Wow.
And I agree. I think 7,000 of those were made. I think convertibles. So there's enough of them out there. So hopefully it won't upset too many people. But
I'm curious to see if you have luggage room left after you package all the batteries in there.
I think that's called the back seat, but we'll see.
I agree. Who cares about the luggage room? What matters is how fast it is. I mean, that's what matters.
And if it's got a cup holder, right? Was that the other complaint I heard?
Oh, did they not have cup? Oh, right.
Oh, really?
Back then, they may not have had one. Huh.
I don't think so.
Speaking of foxes, actually, this transition's not going to work because there was no fox in my Jeep, but there are a bunch of animals.
Wow, that's a tough segue right there. I gotta say,
hear me out.
That didn't quite work.
I have a family of cats living in my Jeep. I don't know if anybody's been follling, on the website.
This is a big story.
It's huge. Story. This is going to make
news.
It is national news.
On par with the new Land Cruiser, easily.
That's right. I have a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee, not just any Grand Cherokee. It's a holy grail with a 5-speed manual, one of 1,400 ever made. And a while ago, a cat gave birth to 4 kittens in that Jeep, which was all great and cute. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's nice. You should, whatever."
It's adorable.
It is adorable.
Oh my goodness.
And my plan was to, make sure that they were taken care of, that they were getting fed by their mother, and then eventually, adopt them out and make sure they have great lives. Last night I go to check on the kittens. Okay, there's only one,
which
kitten
you do
left.
nightly, I hope, right?
I do every night, but I was in Germany for like 12 days and 3 of the kittens left. There's 1 kitten left. It's the runt. It's a really, really small.
Everybody loves the runt.
It's the runt, and I agree, the runt is great. And I get to my Jeep, and in the back, actually, let me just show you the video real quick.
Yeah, this is visual.
I'm going to share this real quick.
It's got to be good if
It is. It's good.
If David's disgusted by something, it's got to. Oh, sugar!
Hold on, we got.
This isn't cool at all. Wait a minute.
Hold on. We got to get some audio going. There we go.
Okay, that's it. Everyone out of my car. Cats, kittens, I don't give a crap. Because now we've got a possum in there. I got to draw the line somewhere. Kittens are cute. That possum. First off, there's the mom cat. Upon arriving here, the mom cat, Z, was just sitting in the Jeep watching the possum eat cat food. Oh, look at this possum, by the way. It really does not care what I think about it. It really doesn't. It's officially the new owner of my Jeep.
Oh, shit.
How does it feel to own a Holy Grail Jeep Grand Cherokee, possum? How does it feel?
Probably pretty good.
You own my car at this point. It knows I'm here. It does not care.
Gotta say, kind of adorable too.
I think possums are kind of great. They don't carry rabies. They're only marsupial. I think you're lucky to have a possum there, David.
You know what? I've come around to possums. I used to think they were kind of scary and vicious, but actually they've got like 4 hands and they're
not. I once pulled out my desk when I lived in LA, my desk chair in the morning, and there were about 12 possums under it because it was a mom with all her babies underneath.
Oh,
and then I found one in my office here. They're kind of great. So I say, David, adopt the possum and the runt. That's what I think.
Yeah, where's the runt?
The runt. Okay, so here's what happened. I get there and the possum, as you saw, didn't really care that I was there. I mean, the possum, I was not banging on the glass and the possum was like, yo, dude, I'm eating. I'm like, what the heck is this, man? After a while, it finished up and decided to go down into all the junk that's in the Jeep, at which point it reached the runt kitten. The runt kitten saw the possum and was like, holy crap, what is this monster? Sprinted to the windowsill on the driver's side and wanted to jump. I was looking at it and it had never left the Jeep in its whole life since birth. And it was like, I'm getting the hell. I don't know what that thing is. I got to get out. I'm going to jump 3 feet onto the ground from this Jeep. It stopped. It decided at the last second not to, climbed onto the mirror and then climbed onto the hood. Then it saw me, sprinted across the hood onto the passenger mirror and into the passenger window. And it decided, you know what, I'll just hang out with this possum. I'm not going to deal with that David dude.
So you're worse than a possum.
I guess so. The runt is still in the Jeep. I'm going to.
Don't you like feed that thing every day? Does it like you by now? What do you do to it?
Well, I thought we were making headway, but then I went to Germany for 12 days.
You left him.
You abandoned the poor kitten.
Deadbeat dad. That's what I'm seeing.
Deadbeat dad. Deadbeat David.
Dad.
Let's call it what it is. So anyway, yeah, I'm the plan is to go back and
tell the cat you were going to go up for a pack of smokes and you'll be right back.
Oh, baby. Oh boy. Anyway,
that's good stuff.
I'll adopt the little kitten, the runt. It deserves it. And
it doesn't like you. It's like
give it time. You just got to get used to him again.
Okay,
that's right. Give it some time. It's
let your girlfriend. The cat will love your girlfriend. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's true. Maybe she'll just take it.
Yeah.
All I know is the thing. I looked at the kitten post possum. There is runt kitten pre possum, and there is runt kitten post possum. It is not the same kitten. The look in its eyes post possum. Dude, that thing is shook. I don't know.
Poor little pussy cat.
That's right. Anyway, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to having a Jeep cat in my life. So I'll keep everyone posted. Check out the Autopian.
But this is a podcast. This is what I'm talking about. This is some great stuff right here.
No, this is important.
Who needs a guest to it? We did just this gold.
All this
flowing from our lips.
More possum and cat news on the autopian.com. More of this general drivel that gold that you've been listening to on the Autopian podcast.
We promise to work harder next time. We promise we'll do better.
Always. We're always looking to do better. Subscribe to this podcast. Become an Autopian member.
Members are the coolest.
That's right. If you love cars, become an Autopian member. Subscribe to the podcast and follow us on social media and all that jazz. and definitely come back and listen to the next podcast.